Hi guys, today I'm going to show you how to make my chalupa recipe, which makes like 12 meals, the base for 12 different dinners for my family. And I am doing it in the Instant Pot today. So if you don't have an Instant Pot, if you want to leave a comment, I can make a video on how to do it on the stove, which takes a lot of time. So this morning I did a video on how to make refried beans, and I just want to show you they've been on low. So they cooked 1 hour, they've been on low 1 hour 23 minutes. The pressure already went out on its own, but I'm going to turn the valve to venting just to show you, and then I'm going to open it up, and the beans are perfectly tender. They're soft, there's still a little liquid, they're not burned, they're not dried. But I'm going to be using these beans in my chalupa recipe. So, can you see them? So there is some water. So what I'm going to do is, before I do the meat, so the chalupa is, I'll talk about it while I take my beans out, because I'm going to be adding them to my meat once my meat is fully cooked. And I'm not going to wash my Instant Pot because this is all going to go back in once the meat is cooked. Beans take quite a lot of time, and I haven't done it all in one pot yet. I do it all in one pot when I do it on the stove, but with the Instant Pot, I wanted to do all the beans first and then do the meat. So I'm just trying to drain off all the juice. So let me talk to you about what chalupa is. Chalupa is a pork, bean, Mexican spiced filling that you would put over, after it's cooked. I bag it pre-cooked, so it's already cooked, and I bag it in 1 meal portions in gallon bags. Okay, we're gonna strain the last of this liquid. And then the chalupa is put over tortilla chips as the main ingredient, and then you top it with fresh cut onions, fresh cut tomatoes, fresh cut lettuce, and a big dollop of sour cream, and then you can add salsa or whatever, but I will show you how I flavor this. So basically I'm going to add these beans, they're all over here. I'm going to add all these beans that I did after the meat and the sauce is all ready to go. I'm just going to throw the beans in, stir it up, and it should be shredded pork bean deliciousness. Then I would cool that and bag it up. So here we're going to do, we're going to show you how to make chalupa in the Instant Pot. All right. So in the Instant Pot, I already did the beans and I'm putting them aside, but the beans are a main part of this. This is a very frugal recipe. So the first thing I'm going to do is put in a large can of green enchilada sauce. This can is 28 ounces. Okay, I'm going to also add 1 cup of liquid, 1 cup of water. Okay. I'm going to add, oh yeah, here's my stuff. 2 teaspoons, I'm gonna do 2 tablespoons of chopped garlic. You can mince your own garlic, but I'm just gonna add a big chunk. This is a 1/2 tablespoon measure, so I'm thinking that's about 2 tablespoons. It's my estimate. It doesn't really matter too much. I'm gonna add a tablespoon of chili powder. So a tablespoon is 3 teaspoons. I'm going to do heaping because we're making a very large batch. A tablespoon of cumin, which I'm going to do about the same amount as I did with the chili powder, so pretty heaping. These are teaspoons, that's why I'm doing 3, because you need a tablespoon. Okay. And then a teaspoon of oregano. I'm going to do a heaping teaspoon of oregano. Okay, so that's all in my pot. The liquid, the sauce, and the spices are all in my pot. And then salt. We need 3 teaspoons of salt. Okay, now the meat I'm going to put in is going to be frozen. It's a frozen pork roast. And I went over to my little scale and I measured it, and it's about 2 pounds. 2 pounds frozen pork roast. Okay, and I just pulled it out of the freezer and it's been sitting out for about 10 minutes. And if you can't get the plastic off, you can kind of run it under warm water for a minute or two till you can pull the plastic apart. And then I'm just gonna, oops, before I do that, I think I'll I'm gonna stir it up really good because I have spices in there and enchilada sauce. Okay. So basically we're gonna be cooking this pork roast in liquid. You always need liquid in your Instant Pot. So I do have 28 ounces of sauce and a cup of water. Okay, so I want you to know there's a lot of liquid in there because the liquid will pressure cook it. If there's no liquid, it'll burn. And now I'm gonna carefully set that frozen roast in there, and it's a little stuck on one end, so I'm just gonna keep pulling. Okay, I got it all out. I'll throw this bag away. I don't reuse bags that have raw meat. I just don't rewash those ones. I do rewash other ones, but not those ones. Okay, so I'll show you what that looks like. All right, the frozen meat is on the top, the sauce is there. So what I'm gonna do, the last thing I'm gonna do before I turn it on is I'm gonna take, now I do want, if you did notice, this is red, and I told you to do green enchilada sauce, but I'm on a really tight no spend budget right now. I'm using what I have at my house, and all I had in my cupboard was a red enchilada sauce. So the wet recipe will be a little different flavor, but I would recommend to you to use the green enchilada sauce. I'm sure this will be delicious though. It'll just be a little different flavor than the green one. All the recipe, everything else is the same. It looks red because it's not a green enchilada sauce. All right. Now, I didn't wash my Instant Pot because I had those garlic pinto beans. If you want to watch my other video I did today, how to make Instant Pot refried beans, I use the seal in my Instant Pot that I've used for savory food. So again, I didn't wash this because I just did the beans, and the beans are going to go back in here when we're all done. So I'm just going to leave it, put it on. Okay, I'm gonna clear it out because it's doing my time still from my beans, which I'm done with my beans. I'm gonna cancel. Okay, and we're gonna be doing stew meat. So we have 2 pounds of stew meat. And I like to use my handy little guide over here to see what they suggest, and then I can always cook it a little bit longer. So let's find 15 minutes per pound. Okay, so we hit meat and we're doing 15 minutes a pound. So I told you I measured on my little scale that was 2 pounds. So I'm gonna do it about 40 minutes because I like to make sure it's super tender. And it's gonna cook this at high pressure on demurre and for 40 minutes. So after I set the 40 minutes, after a few seconds, it starts. But I forgot to close my seal. So remember, see, I just did another thing. So I need to go up here and close my seal so that it starts to seal and pressurize. And this little red button will pop up once it's fully pressurized. Then the timer will start for the 40 minutes. Okay, once the 40 minutes is up, this will go to warm and it'll start showing you how long it's been on low. It'll have a number, and that means it's been on low for that many minutes and it's been done cooking and just resting. You can rest the meat as long as you like. Come back to it in a couple hours after work, whatever you want to do. You could open it up as soon as you depressurize it. So after the 40 minutes is cooked, I'm probably going to wait 30 minutes for it to just naturally depressurize. And then after about 30 minutes of being on low, I will go ahead and push this down to venting to let out all the pressure. Once this red button goes down, you can open up your Instant Pot, and then I will shred the meat with a fork, stir it into all that sauce, and then I'll start to add in my beans until it gets to a good thick texture and a ratio that I like with beans and meat. And I usually have way more beans than meat and to stretch it to go far. So all those seasonings will provide enough for like 15 cups of food. So let's see, you could have a little more pork roast, a little less pork roast, a little more beans, a little less beans. But what I'll do is I'll put these, I'll keep these cool in the fridge. And then once this is all done, so that's like about 80 minutes. Then I'll go ahead and open it up and I'll shred all the meat, and then I'll start adding beans. And if it's too thick, I'll add some more of the liquid of the beans. If it's really, the sauce is runny and the meat isn't absorbing the sauce, I'll go ahead and add just the beans and use my little, what do we call this? My little sieve to just scoop out beans and throw out the water. But I like to save it all to kind of see what I need to add. If you guys want the recipe for how to do this without an Instant Pot, it's a day-long process. It makes kind of a big mess, but like I said, it makes about 15 dinners that you can freeze, and then all you have to do is thaw it and have fresh taco toppings and chips, and you've got a beautiful chalupa dinner. It's great for potlucks, great for big parties, great for family, and all you need are the things that you would normally have on a taco as a topping, your chalupa mix, and some fresh chips. Have a good day.